break the chain 迷いの殻をぶち壊せ暗闇を知るから光は輝ける You make it out
Garurumon! Warp Digitation zu!
Metal Garurumon X Evolution! Metal Garurumon X-Antibody!
Hello Digimon figure fans! This is Mega 881000 again, and as promised in the previous unboxing video part, I now welcome you to the more detailed final review about the KHZone Design Studio Metal Garurumon X-Antibody figure. For those of you who might be wondering a bit and say, hey wait, he showed us the figure in several videos before, I say yes. That's right, I did this, in a way. However, this is now the first and real detailed review about my second copy of this figure, because attentive viewers of my channel will know that I got the first figure in this totally destroyed box, about which I made a short unboxing and assembly video as a kind of experiment some time ago. And after this followed a detailed video about the damages and the subsequent complaint and stuff. I have linked all these previous videos about that topic in the video description down below. The previous video was therefore the first real unboxing, and this video here is the real review about my second copy of this figure from the complaint, which fortunately came to me in a normal good condition this time. So much about the pre-story again. But again, as you can see, the cover again got slightly damaged. But yeah, it's okay. It's not comparable to that damage from the first box. Before starting with the review, there are some official character bio about Metal Garurumon in general. The first part of this bio also applies in general to the normal Metal Garurumon, and let's join Figure Arts Metal Garurumon for that as well, because I think that will be better for this explanation. Metal Garurumon, the final form of Garurumon, powered up by metallizing almost of his entire body. Not only he has retained his natural keenness when he underwent metallization, but it can also pulverize the opponent with the countless weapons concealed throughout his body. He radiates invisible lasers from the 4 laser sights on the tip of his nose, and because he is able to analyze the targets before it using all of his sensors such as infrared rays and X-rays, it is impossible to escape Metal Garurumon even when among the darkness outside of his field of vision. Even when they among in the darkness outside of his field of vision. Excuse me please. His special attack technique is spewing out cold air at absolute zero that completely freezes everything, called Kokita's breath. Every opponent that suffers this attack has their vital functions instantly brought to a halt. By the way, the word Kokitos is referred from Greek mythology and is an ice-cold river of the underworld, so this Japanese attack name version makes many sense. On the other hand, our dub version's name Metal Wolf Claw is a blade downward and don't make any logical sense for the nature of this attack. Yeah, so with that we're putting away the figure. Now it follows the special part about Metal Garurumon X-Antibody and the effect on the Digicore of Metal Garurumon due to the X-Antibody. It has been found that he has gained additional armaments as well as upgraded sensors in order to arm his entire body to adapt to both long and short distance combat. He has taken on a bipedal form and is equipped with the Gatling gun Metal Storm, which has the ability to snipe over long distances, bombard a large area at mid-range and rapid fire extremely quickly even at short distances, boasting of overwhelming firepower. His combined compartment capability is more than 1.2 times than that of Magnamon-DG-Mazing, and for that we let's join the Holy Grail Magnamon-DG-Garurumon figure, just to have a better, not compare, but to make it more interesting here. And Magnamon-DG-Garurumon shoot quite properly, or can already shoot quite properly, so to speak, but that's not a comparison now. We are not at this point yet. We are just at the beginning, so we're putting back Magnamon-DG-Garurumon here. And back to the topic, and for example, such attack techniques are called Grace Cross Freezer, with which he unleashes a massive missile attack, as well as Garuru Burst, with which he attacks with all his weapons that he has. In addition, Metal Garurumon X-Antibody of course also has most of the attack techniques, just let it like that, of the normal Metal Garurumon, and can also use them. Metal Garurumon X-Antibody is basically a mass of firearms in the form of a swift beast, in an even more exalted form than Metal Garurumon is already. So I just add this. So just let me get into the actual review now, but I think it was all very important to mention, especially in this particular case, because look again at all of those option parts here that KHZone considered for their Metal Garurumon X-Antibody figure. Those can be used to simulate the just mentioned facts very well, which is a big plus. And from this point of view, this figure is a great piece by KHZone, and again shows that the design and planning department of this design studio has done their homework on the character. I will of course show you all of these option parts later. Perhaps it should be emphasized again that, as I said, it is a figure from a design studio, so not an official figure arts figure of the Bandai division or something like that. But let us take a closer look on the box at first. But first I will swap the arm, because this is actually an option part, and yeah, so he just have a normal arm, but for that character bio I wanted to show you him with the Metal Storm machine gun arm, which he kinda can transform his normal hand into this Metal Storm machine gun, and we putting on the our normal arm here. And yeah, I used some kitchen towel there, but it's still not, it came out of the hole again, and yeah, it's now a bit of loose, this arm, but I hope it can manage to, yeah, to get this review done. How I said, I will show you the box, and for that we putting a bit quick. I try to do it quick, putting the option parts away a bit, and yeah, the box already standing in the background for the whole time yet. And as you can see, the design studio is called KHZone. It's a finished product, and they called it truly Action Figure Arts. They used the original name of Bandai Tamashi, and also Metal Garurumon-X version. And you can see the figure is personally customized for the year 2021. So much about that. And on the sides we have KHZone, warning, and we have some product shots on the other sides, and also another product shot here. And I think I showed you in the unboxing already, but I will do it again because this is the review now. And yeah, we have some nice product shots and images, how to use those option parts, and they showing you that on this inner box side with those pictures. And yeah, that would be about the box. Getting back the box, and yeah, as I already said, as you can see on the box, they have printed the original name. And even though the design studio doesn't have the rights for doing so, by this I think again about the shutdown of the third-party company tightness X by Bandai, and with regard to KHZone using the original license names, and here even the original figure arts name of Bandai Tamashi, which is probably not a good idea for doing so, but those design studios seem to become more and more painless in this regard. And like I said about DG-Mazing Magnamon in the review, they probably like playing with fire. Yeah. And yeah, this is how they promoting it. This is how they selling it. It's kind of funny that they doing this. As I said, it's not a Bandai figure arts figure, but it comes close to one, mainly because of all these great option parts lying in the background now. And he comes with those option parts, but it's actually KHZone's take on a kinda simplified figure arts Metal Garurumon X-Antibody figure. However, it is only slightly comparable to a figure arts figure at the same time, especially in terms of the type of simpler joints, the material, and the not so resistant type of the paint or the quality of the paint which they using for their products. But I will speak about those points again later. Now we're doing a first short some turning action and some setting here to get a better, closer look on this nice figure. Just want to show you it quick, a bit of turning action here. Overall, a very nice, well done figure, I think. Yeah, so my first point to all of that for that review is the quality and the type of materials in general which they used. Think under the paint layers is resin. Through the paint effects on my first copy, the white base material came to light everywhere in form of those white spots where the paint chipped off. And so I think that's just resin underneath. Therefore I think that it is similar here to this unofficial Jesmon figure from Akira Studios, and as I already described it in the review about this Jesmon. I think these Metal Garurumon-X figures are probably made from such simpler resin model kits which the KHZone Design Studio as printed on the box, personally customized and painted, and again in a slightly better and more professional way than Jesmon. It also looks a lot like that the individual parts come from this resin model kit as a base, but it has also been remolded and improved in a more professional way, because such design studios are possible to do more and better in this regard. But how I said, I have seen also Metal Garurumon as such a do-it-yourself resin model kit, which you have completely paint and build up yourself with those joint connection pieces, or how I done with Shine Greymon, and it definitely exists. Everything else about it is also more of a personal guess, but it strongly seems that the molding of the parts has been extremely changed or remolded, because when I look at the pictures of this unpainted resin model kit and compare them with the actual modeling here, and yeah, on the self-made model kit everything looks a bit more simpler molded. So Metal Garurumon X parts looking more like a figure arts figure than Jesmon on the other hand, and everything is better in general from the overall image and the proportions and the how the figure is made. Looks more professional than I was able to do with Shine Greymon in terms of the joints, the articulation and tightness and stuff like that. I think you know what I want to say with that. And yeah, I will compare this also to that Jesmon figure now. Just give me some seconds to get the figure in, to let it join the figure for this review. Here we have it, and yeah, just in the direct compare, Jesmon looks a bit more simpler, how I said, and it's more similar to a do-it-yourself resin model kit than Metal Garurumon is. From the overall image, from the molding, from the look of the parts, and how it's done, how I said. And yeah, he looks a bit more professional, like I said, more professional made from the overall image in this direct compare. And yeah, Metal Garurumon X, for example, has slightly more subtle, differently shaped joint connections than Jesmon, and my 3 other resin model kit figures have. Nevertheless, Metal Garurumon X also has the same style of joints with this double pack hinge connection and the pack on each side for the connections of the parts or of the body parts for some joints, like for the elbow joint, for example. But for the most part you have a different and more individual style for the various connections for the joints, even with kinda half-cutted open ball joint sockets for the thighs and the shoulders, where we have the ball pack in the body, and we attach the leg and the shoulder on with this joint socket on this ball pack, like you have seen in the unboxing and assembly part. You have seen this, maybe, if you have watched it. Yeah. But for the most part you have different and more individual style for the various connections, even with no, I said this already, sorry. I wanted to compare this to Jesmon, and when we compare it to Jesmon, we have more of those obvious looking rounded ball hinge joint connections everywhere. That's less subtle and more simpler, and let me say, on the Metal Garurumon-X figure KHZone, they solved it a bit more subtle and more attuned to the individual single body parts of that figure. I think they looking more subtle and more heighted than in compare Jesmon big ball pack hinge joints looking, if you know what I mean. So we putting away Jesmon. For this reason alone, the articulated joints are of a higher level and are more subtle than these full and yet very obvious hinged ball joints with the packs in the case of the other resin model kits, or as for example in case like I showed you with Jesmon. You could also say that they are more integrated and adapted to the rest of the single body parts, like I said, to the rest of the design, so it is optically better and more professional solved with KHZone and their Metal Garurumon-X than with Jesmon or my other self-made resin model kits. And I'm speaking of the Magnamon-X, the Garurumon-X and Shine-Greymon, of course, but still more simpler than the joints of real figure arts, or even simpler than DG-Mazing Magnamon's joint style is, which in some cases comes very close to the figure arts joint style, or they are even simpler than the tightness EX Dukemon X-Antibody KO figures. And that I want to show you also in a short compare with the tightness EX Dukemon-X figure. And yeah. Oh, why he lost a part of his crown? That's not, no, you should not do that. Stay on. Please don't work against me again. Yeah, and what I wanted to say, the joints of those tightness EX were much more professional made, and in some cases are even better than on the real figure arts, because we have die casted joints on those figures, and yeah, they are very has a decent tightness. Yeah, just to compare this, Metal Garurumon-X joints and the style of KHZone seems to be a bit more simpler, or is simpler. They are also a bit loose, but we are coming to that topic later. And the size, the official size information on the item page of the CosmyTime eBay shop is about 6.29 inches or 16 centimeters, so he is a bit bigger and beefier than DG-Mazing's Magnamon and the DG-Mazing smaller figures where only Magnamon exists yet. Yeah, you can see yourself, he is a bit shorter and but much smaller than the figure style of the third party company tightness, for their, which they used for the X-Antibody Digimon knockoffs, like you have seen before. And yeah, the style is a bit of the figure arts, the original figure arts figures. He has the style of the bigger characters like Impultramon or Alphamon. He has the style of the bigger SH figure arts characters, and Magnamon has the bit of smaller figure arts style of the original figure arts characters, which is matching. Yeah, like I said, and yeah, we putting Magnamon away. As you can see, it was the gold-plated version of the DG-Mazing Magnamon figures. Yeah. How is the molding of the details on the parts, the accuracy, and yeah, the accuracy of the details to Bandai's original character design? All details are there. I will show you in a close-up in some seconds. Just want to mention some things before doing this. So, just starting with that. Well, as you can see, KHZone done an absolutely great job on their Metal Garurumon-X in regard to proportions, modeling, existing details. Yeah, and in this regard, the figure comes very close to such a real figure arts figure, I think. Every detail is there, nothing is missing. As far as I can judge this for this character, because this also isn't this common to me. But the overall look looks very impressive and well done, I think. Everything has been taken into account. The accuracy of Bandai's illustration is great. To see on the figure, in every way on this figure, even if it has nothing to do with Bandai in general now, but you can definitely figure out which character it should represent, so to speak. Yeah, KHZone really did a very stunning job with the design and implementation with the Metal Garurumon-X here. I would also count the many great option parts to that point, to the perfect implementation. But we will come to that topic later on, like I said. And now we're taking a closer look at those details about which I spoken. Yeah, and we have some nice details. He lost his tail. Excuse me, please. Why are you always doing that? Yeah, looking all of those details. Very nice. And also, while I'm showing you those details, also look at those beautiful paint apps as well, because this is my next point. Very nice done. From the molding of the respective parts and stuff, he looks absolutely amazing. I think you can see it yourself, and this is very obvious. Yeah. By the way, nothing official they mentioned about his sniper cannon, so I guess this is kinda sniper cannon here. Yeah, and this is unusual, I think. In other cases they always naming those weapons and attacks and yeah, attacks, techniques and stuff like that. They have names for that and a description how he uses them, but for this sniper cannon here, nothing got mentioned. So I think, cause it looks like a futuristic sniper cannon there, but they actually mentioned nothing about it. Yeah. But from the overall image, for the molded details and stuff, and absolutely very, very good looking, decent figure of Metal Garurumon X, or don't you think? Also those tiny details are there. Yeah. I think that's really obvious that the parts, molding wise, looking very, very stunning. So my next point is, like I said, coloring, color style and the paint apps. The color design is at least as good as the modeling of the parts, the same good. I think that's also really obvious. In my opinion, all for Metal Garurumon X important paint apps were taken into account. Even the tiniest, and all of them has beautiful matching colors, color tones in general. And in general, a raw matte style has been chosen for the Metal Garurumon figure, which I think fits the character very, very well. For such a kinda cold beast war machine, I think that matches absolutely good. It looks partly a bit glossy as well, maybe it's through the lighting here, but overall there are raw matte colors used. You even have some shading here and there on the parts, which also contributes to a very good and in general high quality overall image for this figure. And the shading you can see the best on the legs here. We have some darker shading here in the middle, and we also have some shading very, very obvious and noticeable on the arms here. Yeah, that adds to a very high quality image. Yeah, and also the eyes and those tiny details on the head, very, very nicely detailed. Also color wise, very, very nice implemented. And yeah, we have some details picked out in this gold. Through the lighting it looks a bit like metallic gold, but in real daylight it's rather matte as well as the rest. And yeah, you can also open his snout, and as you can see, he is not just armed to the teeth, he is even armed to the mouth and has a little cannon in there as well. I think from this he can shoot his Kokito's breath or spew out this attack from this cannon there. And we also have a look on these nice paint apps for the claws and everything. Every little detail has the right and matching paint apps. I think it looks very, very nice also from this point of view. So I also think the color implementation is absolutely great, as you can see. In every respect, I also have to say something about these light green X-Antibody crystals all over his armor. This color scheme with these green glowing X-Antibody crystals corresponds exactly to the illustrations which and how the original Bandai designer did them in the past, who was especially responsible for the design of Metal Garurumon X-Antibody among other characters. There are also illustrations of Metal Garurumon X existing where the crystals are glowing red, but originally the original design was with green glowing crystals. The original designer is A.S. Mariah. I told you about it in the update 2, which was about the Figure standard model kits. Again, briefly, because this is very important for judging the next. I try to explain the right way. On the figure, A.S. Mariah can alternatively be written as A.C. Mariah and also abbreviated as ASMA. As I said back then, he was specially commissioned to design Metal Garurumon X-Antibody, and his X-Antibody Digimon designs are characterized by the inclusion of heavy armor and green light emitting objects, which nicknamed by Kenji Watanabe as Asthma Green. When I didn't know that before, I was also wondering why there are two styles of illustrations with different colors for the crystals, since most X-Antibody Digimon have more blue glowing crystals, you know? And at first I was wondering why KHZone painted the crystals on the figure green. And at first found it a bit strange, but since I knew about the asthma green light emitting objects, I found the green colored crystals as absolutely accurately, because with the green crystals it is absolutely in keeping with the original illustration of the Bandai designer himself, and fits as if the original designer had supervised the design, as Kenji Watanabe usually did and does with the official Digimon figures. And with that, I want to show you all those nice green crystals. We have even some of those nice green crystals at the base of his kinda ears. We have crystals on the cannon, as you have seen. The bigger you see, but also to mention are these nice green. For some reason he has crystals integrated within his claws. Why not? But he has, and they took them all into account. Also we have some green crystals on his feet. As you can see, very nice implemented from this point of view again. Very nice and well done figure. Also the paint job looks a bit, yeah, like everything is painted on this figure. We have no colored no parts which are made of colored and molded plastic. But yeah, we're coming to that point. Just want to mention it. Now, In addition, the eyes are very well detailed in terms of color and have been implemented very well. I showed you it already. Also look at those other nice paint apps for the rest of the head. Like I said before, very, very nice executed. And also, for the most part, a very, very clean paint job as well. Yeah, since, as I mentioned before, if I did mention almost everything is painted here. Like I said, no colored plastic molded parts. The paint job feels a bit colder through that than on other figures, and it also feels a bit like some parts are made of die cast. But no, we have no die casted parts on the figure here. The figure actually, it looks almost like that, but we have no die cast. And I probably thought that as well from the start, that maybe there is die cast used, because in the items description from the shop they mentioned wrongly die cast parts among other materials. But just getting a die cast look and feel with just the paint job is also pretty good in my opinion. Or what do you think about this? And for this we doing another short turning action to get the idea of all those nice painted details again. Very, very nice executed with the paint job. Yeah, how I said, also very clean, especially noteworthy with all these small details, and the eyes almost corresponds to figure arts level. I showed you it. Now we're coming to the point of the paint, and this is the only problem. As I mentioned briefly before, unfortunately the paint tends to chip off very quickly. Just by moving body parts, by using the joints and rubbing parts together, by using the joints, the paint chips off very easily at those sections. So you should be the hell careful to not rub parts together by just moving body parts and using the joints when posing the figure, which is kinda unavoidable, because you always have some rubbing, and on those sections the paint chips off. That's the biggest weak point I have to complain about. For the rest, very well done figure. Yeah, that's the biggest weak point, like I said. For the beautiful paint job, that's also sad, that, and yeah, that's kinda sad if that happens, but it happens. Yeah, and it's the biggest weak point for the rest of a great figure in general. That's really, yeah, that's meh. And I want to swap the arm again, and using the machine gun again for the next part of the review. And yeah, you can get those joints tighter a bit, or those connections tighter, by using some kitchen paper, towel paper, And I will show you that because I think he will not. I actually stuffed some kitchen paper in there already, but it doesn't seem to stay in there very well. Yeah, now we have a very tight fit here. So you have seen how you get the joints, how you can get the joints tighter or connections and stuff like that. And he again lost his tail blade. Yeah. So we have him with his Metal Storm machine gun standing here again, which looks very impressive in my opinion. Yeah. And yeah, the Paintjob chip of issue, especially for the high price, is also very weak, to which topic I will get in a moment. That paint chip of issue is quite sobering in this regard, how I said. But yes, the figure is what it is in this regard and should be enjoyed with caution in this regard, because even if it's not a toy but a very expensive adult collector figure, action figure kinda, KHZone really has to fix and improve that for the next releases. I think this hasn't to be discussed any further. Because it's a shame, how I said, if you're getting such white spots everywhere through paint chipping off by only moving the body parts and using the joints. Otherwise, the general quality of the parts seems very solid and not cheap, or that I used thin materials, so you have to be afraid to break off something, like kinda it's the case on the DG-Mazing Magnamon. Just by touching it, no, that's again a higher quality feeling here in this regard. Again, I think that's has to be mentioned as well. Yeah. The next point is option ports. And yeah, I showed you already some of those option ports. And I showed them to you a bit quick, but as you already seen, the figure comes with an immense number of option ports, and all that are required for Metal Garurumon-X perfect representation are in the package, have been taken into account. Also the sculpt and modeling of those details on those option ports are very stunning. I'll show you in some seconds. And the details on those option ports are also very accurate, and also the matching paint apps are nice on them. I show you first the machine gun Metal Storm and a bit of close up here, which looks very nice, also with some shading that it really looks like it would be burnt through firing. That looks burnt, looks very nicely implemented color wise and also from the mold. Very nice. Yeah. And especially I also like that they give us the option with the rocket launcher with the integrated rockets there, the molded in rockets, for the not shooting display option, and we have also again this rocket launcher with the swarming out rockets, and there we have drilled holes. And if you want to not use the rockets, you just have the option with the shot rockets with the holes. Very, very nicely implemented. Yeah. I want to also show you the other arm. He was attached with also very nicely detailed and painted. I have shown you already, and we do a close-up of the open hands. Also have nice paint apps like the fist hands. Paint apps, very nice, implemented also from the overall mold. We have the green crystals again, integrated in the upper side of the claws. And yeah, I also showed you already the 6-shot rocket launcher here. Gonna show you this. Very, very nice. I also attached the rockets already, as you can see, because this is a bit of fiddly work to do, and until you reach the right representation like shown in the pictures, that's a bit of, I needed much time to figure out that the rockets are, the bars of the rockets are differently sized in perimeters. Those are smaller, and the other rockets for the rocket launcher for his legs are bigger in perimeters. Yeah, and it took me very long to figure out this. Also, the rockets of the 6-shot launcher a bit more, slightly a bit bigger, and which is more obvious is that the jet stream of the rockets, the fire stream is much bigger than on the smaller Boris rockets for the 6-shot launcher, and the 3-shot launcher is a bit bigger, as you can see. Yeah. And I will show you the other 6-shot rocket launcher as well. Also, you cast the display option with the open rocket launchers. On the figure we have the closed rocket launcher, at the moment still attached. Yeah. And I think we will attach the rockets now to show you how they are should be attached. You just detach the closed rocket launcher with that on that ball pack here and just put on the left rocket launcher. We have this connection piece here and we just clip that onto his leg and there we go. We have one. Oh no, that shouldn't happen. Ah, excuse me please. That shouldn't happen. Why that always happen? I provided it and still it works against me. How I said, this is very a bit fiddly work to do to get these rockets posed like they shown it on the box. So I think we have it done again. So, also here, the rocket launcher above his shoulder. I just prefer to detach the arm first so you have more room to operate and get this thing detached and get more room for attaching this one. Reattaching the shoulder back, the arm, and there we go. Now we have the display option with all swarming out rockets. This is how I imagine him with using the crisscross freezer. I think that's looking very nice. Very nice. Well done implementation. You also can totally choose which option you like the best. But I think with all those rockets, this is a very nice implementation. That looks so good. That gives you absolutely some figure arts vibes here. Yeah, and you can have him totally shooting all his rockets if you want to display him like that, which is a very great option to be able to do so. Also can use the joints to choose some direction for the rockets. Yeah, a very nice implementation. That I done this is really great, how I said. And I also will swap the hand As you can see, we have also a ball pack here and a socket, so we can attach some of the other option parts, which is the open hand, to get the idea of all those options you can have with that nice figure. Yeah! And we're doing, of course, a close-up with the hand here. And yeah, with this other arm, this is also possible. The problem is the looseness of those connections. I hope it works, because we totally can put on the hand here. Yeah, and it doesn't work again. Here we have pulled out the socket, but you can reattach this. Yeah, and from this point of view, it's a bit of a simpler quality here. Yeah, and we can put on the left open hand and put the normal arm back here. And he lost one of these thingies here again. Yeah, he knows how to work against one. That's not really nice. But, how I said, you can have this display option as well. You can also choose if you just want to have one launcher swarming out the rockets, or all, or just the ones on the feet. You can, it's totally up to you. And yeah, you can choose your options. Yeah, quickly close up with those open hands. It's all a bit loose, but it works. It works. It works if you be patient enough. It works. Also, these claws of the open hands also don't have such strange color arrows, color arrows, which came out of this crushed box, which I had on the open hands of my first copy, and which I showed you also on my first copy in that update video. And yeah, gladly those of my second copy looking much better and cleaner executed Paintjob wise, which is also nice. And yeah, yeah, I have to cut the video next, but I just wanted to mention some things. And how I said, and like I said before, this extra option to equip the rocket launcher with those option rocket pods in order to be able to represent such swarming out. Oh man, why you are doing that? Yeah, this in order to be able to represent such swarming out options rockets and attack, swarming rocket attack better set with the figure is implemented absolutely awesome, I think, and offers a lot of possibilities to be able to display your figure differently. Yeah, it's really great. My next point is articulation. And yeah, but first something about the tightness of the joints. And as you already could see now. Yeah, and at this point I decided to cut the video and swap the ports back to the normal ports without the rockets. And I wanted to say something about the tightness of the joints. As you already seen along this review, I wanted to say the joints could be a little tighter in general and the tightness is a little loose and not quite as good, roughly as in some cases a little looser as DG-Mazing Magnamon's joints, but still most of the joints are decent tight enough on the other hand to hold the set poses. Only the legs are often changing the pose, and due to the looseness of the joints just by taking him in the hands as you have seen, and so on. But well, in this regard, most of the official Bandai Tamashii Digimon figure arts figures have their problems with loose joints too, so that was never 100% good on those as well. I'm just thinking by that on the old Wargreymon. So I would see that as a minor problem for a figure from a design studio, because Bandai Tamashii very often didn't done it better either. Yeah, and how I said, I think with those paper towels trick you can get the joints tighter. Yeah. And now I will demonstrate you the articulation. And yeah. The joint connection I just explained before, because we have such double pack hinged joints and we have just like ball pack joints with those sockets and yeah, so on. And so I don't want to speak about all of those joints, but I just want to show the articulation by using the joints. So we have such a joint, as you can see yourself with this joint. He can look quite far down and up. Also can turn the head like this to the sides. In every direction until parts getting in the way. We have a ball hinge for the snout. We have extra hinge for the neck. Can even look like this. Further down with using the head and the neck joint. The neck is actually a bit, yeah, it should be movable to the right and left, but there are parts like the thrusters here. Yeah, they just blocking this option, but with the head you can get some nice range of movements. Like I said, with the arms you can do your full 360 and also a bit in and out movements on that ball pack. Everywhere we have this double pack hinge joint connection, we can turn the ports and bend. Like for the elbow, we have a ball pack for the hands, can move the hands in and out, and if you turning the hand inwards, you can a bit of swivel the hand a bit, but ports getting in the way, and so the range of motion gets blocked for the hands again. We can move the upper body like this, backwards and forwards, also turning to the sides, and we have even some tiltage here. Can move the upper body in all directions until ports getting in the way again, and it is extra jointed at the hip, but there we can only go forwards and backwards until ports getting in the way again. We have, of course, 360 turn action for the legs, in and outward a bit on that ball pack again. We have a hinge for the tail. You can actually turn the tail a bit and turn the tail in all directions, but ports getting in the way again, so this is also kinda blocked. And here we have for the knee a bit of range of movements, a bit through that joint here again, but it's not very, it's getting blocked again through few ports getting in the way again. We can swivel the knee at that section. We can bend the leg at this section again. Again, it should be could be swivel there, but ports getting in the way here. We have a ball pack here for this connection, so with the foot you can get quite far range of movements here, up and down. You can tilt them a bit, turn them to the left and the right. Of course, we have an extra of those joints here for the front section of the feet, so we can also move it down and up. We can swivel it, and with that joint you are able to very nicely adapt the pose of the feet to the ground, and so he has a solid stand with the feet, which is great. And we have ball packs for moving the rocket launchers in all directions until ports getting in the way. The same counts for the sniper cannon until ports getting in the way. Movements in all directions, and of course all the same is possible with the other rocket launcher until ports getting in the way again. Yeah, I think have explained and showed you the articulation completely now. And yeah, you want to swap again the arm with the metal storm. I hope it will. Yeah, the little pieces here are also a bit movable, but I think they should stay in this position. I think it's not intended to move them. And we have again 2 less kitchen paper here. Though I stuffed much in there, what you see. The tightness of the joints could be better, I think you can see this. And the leg comes apart very easily. I think that's a reason why I think there is this. The base is the resin model kit for the ports, like I mentioned before. Yeah. My next point is about that. The balancing is of course not so perfect, as you can see the whole time, due to the somewhat loose thigh joint and leg joints. That's logical, but still very good. And again, the figure is better balanced than some of the other original Figure Arts Digimon figures. Well, that is not really comparable as well, due to the different character designs. Especially his unique design with his kinda high heel shaped feet. Yeah, this helps him much to compensate the loose joints a bit, because through that form of his, like the feet are this helps to hold the balance with a solid stand with those feet. It's just logical. Oh. In the German version, I swear, he just lost one time his tail. It happened, but not this often. Excuse me, please. Yeah. And despite the somewhat loose joints, the balancing of this figure is not affected that much, and the figure is reasonably well balanced, I think. He's able to hold the set poses, but if you're taking him in your hands, he loses the set poses. And it is similar to the Swargremon's loose joints. The Swargremon can hold the set poses as well, for the most part, but again, if you're taking the Swargremon in the hands, he loses the set poses, and so it is with Metal Garurumon-X. Kinda, even slightly better than with the Swargremonn, in contrary with him here. But yeah, you think you have seen this all already and can build your own opinion about that. Price performance ratio. Pre-ordered in the Cosmic Time eBay shop again for about circa 268 and 98 US dollars plus slightly over 35 US dollars shipping, or in euros it was about 226 and 50 for the figure, plus about circa 30 for shipping. That was the price for the first copy that I got in this destroyed box. Because of the complaint and the minor damages, I got this unbeatable offer from the eBay shop members that they would send a second copy, which you can see here now, if I would pay half of the item price of the first copy, which was about 135 US dollars or about 114 euros, even without shipping costs this time, mind you. Because that was such a good offer, I took it and sold the slightly damaged first copy to a very good interested friend again for the half of that mentioned price, those 135 US dollars, for which I got my second undamaged copy. For me, however, it is still the case that I got this undamaged second copy for the full money that I paid back then as a pre-order for the first copy, and by reselling the damaged first copy I made up these 135 US dollars from the complaint. I mean, that was an unbelievable offer from these eBay shop members, or the shop called Cosmic Time, because they didn't even ask to send the damaged first copy back. I wanted to mention this again here to highly praise the great service of these eBay shop members, because that really wasn't something that could be taken for granted. Just check out this eBay shop, they have some awesome anime and manga related stuff. And yeah, that's why I originally pre-ordered and bought this figure for those almost 269 US dollars plus the mentioned shipping cost, even if it's factually incorrect, if you know what I mean. It is a high price, but also a great figure, which apart from the fact with the big issue with the paint chipping off, it quite worth the money. If this high price is justified, is therefore certainly arguable, so I don't want to discuss this any further. You have to decide for yourself, I think. You should also keep in mind that all eBay shops try to sell such stuff to higher prices, and maybe the design studios would sell it cheaper at some Asia sites and stuff like that, but personally, for me, it's the only and easiest way to get my hands on such great unofficial Digimon figures through eBay, and this special eBay shop helps me much. Maybe there are other cheaper options for you to discover. Because of this very high price, I'm not giving you a direct buy recommendation, only for those who have always wanted a kind of KO figure of Metal Garurumon-X, or are total fans of this character. This figure is the best option for those, and the best Metal Garurumon-X figure which was ever made until yet. No direct purchase recommendation because of this huge weak point with the paint chipping off issue. However, on the other hand, I think he can collect a lot of plus points for the rest of the general quality of the figure, the great articulation, paint apps and colors, and of course with all these many option ports. In all these regards, it is a very successful representation and implementation of the Metal Garurumon X-Antibody character, which still would have to be made better first by others. But still a high price, though no question asked about that. Yeah, I think we should do some comparisons And we're starting with my own, self-made resin model kit figure, which I customized to the full, because this is size-wise and style-wise the most comparable one, and Metal Garurumon's X counterpart, the Garurumon X resin model kit here. Yeah, just to see how they are looking together, and I think they are looking great together. What do you think? They are about the same size, and so they are matching very well to each other. Yeah, and I also show you my obligatory compare figure, which is of course Bandai Imaginations The Arts Garurumon Original Designers Edition, to see how they are looking together. And again, you see the official shorter characters are a bit smaller than Metal Garurumon-X here is. Just to see how they are looking together, to get an idea of that. The next is SH Figure Arts Metal Garurumon Original Designers Edition, which came under the SH Figure Arts name. We had them already at the beginning, now again for comparison, because it's the Metal Garurumon character and there are not so much Metal Garurumon figures to compare with that. Just to see how they are looking together. And I also have provided Joshinga Tamashi Gabumon, Metal Garurumon for comparison here, to see how they are matching size-wise and looking together. And I also will do a official figure comparison for the bigger characters of the SH Figure Arts figures, and here we have, of course, SH Figure Arts Impildramon Paladin mode for comparison, to see how the bigger SH Figure Arts characters looking together with Metal Garurumon-X by KHZone. Would we have that compare done as well? Going on with DG-Mazing Susanomon, which is also about the same size, because he's one of the bigger characters. Yeah, just to see how they are looking together. And of course I show you the Magnamon of DG-Mazing Studio again. Quick, we had him already here. Again for comparison. He's a bit shorter. And Metal Garurumon is bigger and beefier, of course, than DG-Mazing Magnamon. And I also will show you Akira Studios Jesmon again. Just for the quick comparison again. We had it already. Yeah. And of course I will do the compare to the tightness X KO figures with the Dukemon here, which again are much bigger. Those KO figures of tightness from the X-Antibody characters, or of the X-Antibody characters, because they are all X-Antibody characters. So to see how they are looking together, and I will also, yeah, he lost his part of his crown again, which is not nice. And of course, we have also the byTungMung X Magnamon Sword X-Antibody figure here for comparison. This is how I call him. To see how they are looking together. And again, they were much taller than every Digimon figure of the new style, I think. Yeah, the precious GM figures are bigger, but for the posable collector action figures. And of course we have that compare also. I have that provided. He is huge against this KHZone Metal Garurumon-X Mega House Precious GM Metal Garurumon with Yamato on his back. To see how they are looking together. Yeah. And yeah. With that, I think everything important which came to my mind and was to be discussed with that review and has been said again. That was my review about KHZone Metal Garurumon-X figure arts, KO figure arts figure. And yeah, if you liked it, I would appreciate to give me a thumbs up for this video. And you also can totally subscribe to my channel as well, if you want, if you liked it. And yeah, take care, folks. Thank you for watching, and until the next video, your Mega 88 1000.
Just break